Welcome to the Best Me podcast. Your best tomorrow starts today. I'm your host, Ellen Livingston. I believe showing up each and every day as the best version of myself doesn't happen on accident. It takes awareness and planning. On this podcast, I talk about planning for ways to improve my health, develop a sense of purpose in everyday life, and create meaningful connections so I can be the best me I can be. And so can you. Let's get started. Hey there, besties. It's me, Ellen. I'd like to thank you all for listening, and for those of you who are taking the time to comment on Instagram and drop me an email, I just want to say I really appreciate it. And lately, I have run into a few people, and the very first thing they ask me is, Ellen, what made you want to start a podcast? And it's kind of funny. I hesitate a little bit and can't really think of a great answer. But really, if I think about it, the reason I started a podcast is because it just seemed like the next right thing. And I want to explain this. First of all, the next right thing is a phrase taken from a letter that the renowned Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung had written to a woman who reached out to him asking for advice on how she ought to live her life. And his reply was he didn't really know because he nor she knew the future. But if she did the next and most necessary thing, she will always be doing something meaningful. Now, this phrase has been adopted by the recovery community as kind of a mantra to stay centered and to realize that you don't have to take on everything all at once. Just do the next right thing. And there's also a woman named Emily Freeman who has a spirituality podcast, and she wrote a book by that same title. And I also discovered it's a song from Frozen too. But anyway, what I love about this phrase is that we can apply it to so many areas of our lives. For example, my daughter was diagnosed with gestational diabetes about 6 months into her pregnancy. And as stressful as getting a diagnosis like this can be, she managed her anxiety by just doing the next right thing. Instead of focusing on complications and what could go wrong, when it came time for her next meal, she just chose the foods that she was supposed to eat. And she had read that if you take a walk after eating, it helps lower your blood sugar, so she would take a walk. So when you can't completely control anything like a medical issue, maybe just let go and do the next right thing. And that way, you'll be doing one small thing that you can control. And along these same lines, maybe you realize you've let your health slip by not exercising or eating healthily. You can't get fit overnight, of course, but you can start doing something like taking a walk every day or making a good food choice. That's the next right thing. Maybe you have a lot of debt, and chances are you aren't going to win the lottery and be able to pay all your bills off in one whack. But you can do small things like instead of eating out every day, you can bring your lunch to work to save money. Or maybe you're exhausted at the end of each day, but you still stay up late watching television and scrolling on your phone. Do the next right thing. Go to bed on time. Doing the next right thing means taking a small step that you can control to make anything better. And sometimes doing the next right thing means staying quiet instead of arguing, or listening instead of giving advice, or compromising instead of having to have things your way. Or it could mean forgiving someone instead of holding a grudge, or speaking up instead of staying quiet to fit in. For me, the most powerful next right thing was when I decided to quit drinking alcohol. And when I think back on this was most likely the starting place of me creating the Best Me idea. I was going to the gym every morning, but I didn't feel that great because of the wine that I had while watching TV after dinner the night before. And I realized how stupid it was that I was thinking I was taking such great care of myself by getting to the gym by 6:30 every day, because no one who has an issue with alcohol goes to the gym every day, right? You get my point. So I did the next right thing and I quit. Now I want you to understand, I wasn't a person who lost a job because of my drinking or got a divorce or had a DUI or anything quote unquote bad happen to me. But what was happening was I was wasting a lot of time and feeling like crap in the morning. So my next right thing led to me having a lot of time to think and be creative and productive. And I had started recording in my daily planner my diet and exercise goals. And I was sitting outside in the morning having my coffee, enjoying nature, when one of my husband's really good friends, his name is Trey Davis. I want to give him a shout out because he's really the catalyst for Best Me, in my opinion. But anyway, Trey sent my husband David a book of short inspirational essays. And I started taking this book outside with me when I would grab my coffee and go sit outside and enjoy nature for a few minutes before starting my day. And so I decided I would read one of those essays also outside. Now, this book inspired me to think about other areas of my life that I wanted to put intentional focus on. And I realized besides my health, my purpose in life, and my connections to others were the areas that I really needed to be aware of and plan for. And this led me to creating what would become what I call the Best Me lifestyle. And I wanted to share it with others. And after mulling the idea over with my good friend Gail, I realized that a podcast was a good option. So that's the long, and I mean really long, answer to why I wanted to start a podcast. And I hope you all learn something or you're motivated each week after listening, because I know all of us have a desire to be the best we can be. You just have to do the next right thing. That's all I have for today, besties. Be kind, be positive, and be your best. And remember, small progress is still progress. Thanks for listening to the Best Me podcast. If you would like to make a comment, suggest a podcast topic, or just say hi, send me an email at bestmepodcast@gmail.com. I hope you'll join me next week as I continue to talk about how to be the best me I can be. This episode was edited by Adam Boatwright. If you need any help with music, audio and video editing, or digital arts, be sure and check him out at adamboatwright.com. That's ADAMBOATRIGHT.com.